All right, so last week we stopped where Buddha, after meditation in the morning, looked in the universe with his great compassion and found that he wants to help Angulimala, right? So the morning came, and Angulimala, as usual, got up and he is very excited because all he needs is just one more what? Jackson, what does he need more? One more finger, right? Yes. So, okay. So let's continue reading. Tata Dylan, could you read? He waited.
You're not sharing the screen.
Oh, thank you. Okay, he waited.
He waited anxiously for the lone person to arrive. As the figure appeared closer, he saw that it was a woman walking slowly with the help of a staff in one hand and a bottle in the other. When the figure appeared near, he thought she looked vaguely familiar. As she came near, he realized indeed she was his mother. At that moment, his body quivered, his eyes began to fill with tears. His heart softened as he noticed that she had grown much older, tired, and distinctly as he noticed that she had distinctly hunched. Oh, mother, dear, the ferocious murderer wept silently without realizing it. He missed his mother dearly. He had not seen her for some years now, since he left home for Tekatsila. His love and affection for her surfaced in his heart. His first reaction would have been to lay down his weapons and run up to his mother and hug her, but he could not let her see him in such a horrible state.
Thank you, Dad. All right, so Dylan read great, but I'm going to read for you. And next time when I ask you to read, I want you to read like this. So please pay attention. Now, when you read a story, I want you to be in action. Okay, you're just not reading, you're acting. I want you to act, not just read. So, as the figure appeared closer, he saw that it was a woman walking slowly with the help of a staff in one hand and a bundle in the other. When the figure appeared nearer, he thought she looked vaguely familiar. As she came nearer, he realized, indeed, she was his mother. At that moment, his body quivered. His eyes began to fill with tears. His heart softened as he noticed that she had grown much older, tired, and distinctly hunched. Oh, mother dear, the ferocious murderer wept silently without realizing it. He missed his mother dearly. He had not seen her for some years now, since he left home for Takasila. His love and affection for her surfaced in his heart. His first reaction would have been to lay down his weapons and run up to his mother and hug her, but he could not let her see him in such a horrible state. All right. Okay. Want to read next paragraph with a little bit of action. All right, William, go for it.
No. doctor at that point, right?
Yes.
At that point, his mind turned into this dark side. He reminded him like he had a big old mission to fulfill. He had vowed to complete his guru dakshina at any cost. He was torn between his love for his brother and desire to clear his last Guru. So intense was his obsession to completing his brother and Gurus that he intended to kill his mother for the last little bingo. He recalled the tears rolling from his eyes and trembling hands. He raised his sword and rose with the mission to pounce upon his unsuspecting mother. Just as
Thank
that.
you. Thank you, Pat. Thank you. Very good. So next time, please read with action. Okay, let's analyze this. What do we learn from this? He is a very, very dangerous murderer, right? So at that point, Ricky,
So he really wanted to go with his mother, but he remembered the promise he had made to his teacher, and he found that promise is like always supposed to be kept for the gratitude that you have done for all the teachings that your teacher have taught you. So he didn't want to do it, but he had to do it to fulfill the one last finger. So he had no choice but to kill his mother.
very good, very good. All right, I want a girl to give me what she thinks. Kai,
Like the mother?
from looking at from this standpoint, whether from the point of mother or Angulimala.
I think like Angulimala, like I think he feels like really bad, of course, but like at the same time he has this urge to like complete his goal.
Okay,
So I think his goal is like a little bit more stronger. But you know, he does love his mother, so it's hard.
now let me ask girls. Is that a possibility that you could become like his mother at one point in your life? Raise your hand if you think there's a chance that you might become like Angulimala's mother. No one? Yeti said yes. Anyone else? Jackson? Okay, that's fine, Jackson. So, Kira? Okay. So, listen very carefully. Now, you might never get married, okay? But the chances of that, you might get a boyfriend who is really, really bad, just like Angulimala. Let's say you fall for a guy who looks really cute, okay? Like a Korean actor. Just because he's so cute that you fell in love, you fell for him. But later you found out that he is a horrible, horrible person. But you think that guy loves you too, right? So one day, your friends tell you, hey, your boyfriend is on drug. Don't go to him today. He might kill you for anything. So what do you think? What do you think you might do? Run away? No. What are the chances? Let me ask boys. What are the chances that a girl will do at that moment? Eric.
Well, how are they
Oh, I know.
How are they supposed to know?
Okay, Tad knows. Go ahead, Tad.
I'm pretty sure the girl will like not believe it and like come to me to try to, you know.
Well, then
Very good. That's correct. So that's the girl's mentality, right? The friends tell her, hey, my dear friend, don't go to your boyfriend today. He is on drug today. He's going to kill you, or he's going to torture you, or he's going to take money away from you, or he's going to make you feel horrible. So what are the possibilities that a girl mentioned at that moment? That, these girls, you know, they are jealous of me because they can get a boyfriend cuter than mine. So that's why they don't want me to go to him. On the other hand, you have that, maybe they're right. But you know what? He loves me so much. He is not going to do that to me. Right? Exactly like his mother. Now, I have had several friends who fell into that issue again and again, right? I tell my female friends, tell her, look, the boy that you fall in love, he's a drug addict. Break up. You know what she told me?
No, you lame.
No, worse than that. She said, hey, because I don't love you, you're saying that to me, you're jealous of me, right? She turned her back on me. I said, I was so sad. So I said, you're wrong. I am telling the truth. Right? Guess what?
She didn't believe you.
Well, of course, she didn't believe me. Then they ran away. She got a baby, and the guy left her with a baby. And she later found out that I was right. She apologized to me, but too late. So, point here is that's most of the girls' mentality is a motherly mentality. You tend to like a boy not because he is manly, but because you want to be a quasi-mother. That's the human psychology. So you tend to like guys who fall for you, who back you. Oh, honey, I really love you. Without you, I'm going to die. I am suffering. Right? Rather than you don't like a guy who is too cocky and who just say, hey, be on your own. Let's do this. You don't like those kind of guy. You like a kind of like weak Korean actor like guy. That's the girl's mentality, right? Now, one with some kind of misfortune, if you ever fall in love with that kind of person, now you will be just like Angulimala mother here, right? Now, at that moment, what are the chances? Let's say you have a boyfriend who is on drug, and you know that he's on drug, but you have a little small but kind of big hope that, you know what, he loves me and he will not do that to me, or he loves me, he will listen to me and he will stop doing drugs. Then when you actually go to him, his initial reaction to you will be like Angulimala. He will even cry with you before he tortures you, before he even kills you, just like Angulimala does, right? So he initially said, here, oh, mother dear. He even cried, right? He wants to lay down his weapons and run up to his mother and hug. But today, your boyfriend will actually do that. He will lay down his all arms. He will kneel in front of you, honey. You know what? Don't listen to those guys. Your friends are bad. I love you so much. And he'll give you a hug. Then what? At that point, his mind turned towards his dark side. He reminded himself that he had a bigger mission to fulfill. He had bound to complete his Guru Dakshina at any cost. What if your boyfriend is a gang member? So a gang member, his gang leader probably asked him, you know what? Go find $1,000, or go get a cell phone, or go get a ring. So at that moment, his bigger mission is what? Getting your ring or your cell phone or your money, or to torture you, whatever it may be, because his bigger mission is to fulfill what his gang asks him to do. Do you think his emotion towards you will overcome this? No. But you know what? A lot of girls fall for it. They get into trouble. Now, this is very common. Now, Angulimala story teaches you about a mother and a son who turned out to be a very, very bad person. Now, I am pretty much sure that you probably would not be in this situation like Angulimala's mother and Angulimala. I don't think some of you might not even get married. Some of you just want to be, okay, I just want to be single. Great. Or some of you might get married and might not have any kid. Or some of you might have kids and they will be great kids like you guys are. But there's a good chance that today you might fall for a guy just because he is handsome and cute, but he just turned out to be a bad person, a drug addict, a gang member. You fall for it. Now you could fall into this situation. All right. Now, by the way, yes, even though I am picking on girls, now boys could be in the same situation too. You might fall for a girl just because the girl is really cute. All right. But they could happen to be in a bad situation, from a bad family, from bad parents. So you got to be very careful. If you understand this human psychology, okay, you can make a good decision. Sometimes your friends are really jealous about you, but sometimes your friends are really there for you. So use your very good judgment, especially if you ever find out that your boyfriend or girlfriend doing drugs or drinking alcohol. You better think and probably run. Okay. All right, so any question, any comment? Any one of you had any similar experience or stories about it already? Hopefully you haven't had any personal experience like this, and I hope you will never have one. The whole reason why I'm telling you this is so that you will never be in that kind of situation. All right, but those are real stories and very common. All right, so remember this, be very careful. All right, okay, now for Angulimala, he was lucky because there's someone to save him. But in your case, you might not be lucky. Right? Okay, so let's read on. Miss Sophia Tom, could you read this for us, please? Start from just at that critical moment.
Just a critical moment.
It's all right.
Just at that critical moment, the Buddha with his psychic powers appeared before Angulimala on the dusty cart track. On seeing the Buddha, Angulimala's mind instantly switched from attacking his mother to killing the Buddha. He thought to himself, how marvelous and fortunate it is to see a lone ascetic appear just right before me at this very moment. Why should I kill my mother when there is this lone recluse I can kill without much effort? Let my beloved mother live. I will instead kill the recluse easily and cut off his little finger.
Keep on reading, please.
Oh, sorry. Raising his sword and spear, Angulimala stalked the Buddha. When he was close enough, the enlightened one performed a feat of supernatural power. He used his psychic powers to create an illusion of himself walking just a few steps in front of Angulimala. Though Angulimala walked briskly, he could not catch up with the Buddha. He could not come close enough to strike the Buddha with his sword, even though the enlightened one merely walked with great poise and grace at his normal pace. As much as he tried to bridge the gap between himself and the Buddha, he failed to do so. Angulimala then decided to give chase after the Buddha, but still he.
Thank you. So this part is very famous that a lot of you knew already, that even though Angulimala tried to chase Buddha, he could not because Buddha uses supernatural powers. All right. Jackson, could you read this from It Is Simply?
It is really amazing. In the past, I could outrun an elephant and seize it. I could chase a swift horse and capture it. I could overtake a chariot and arrest it. I could catch up with a swift deer and kill it. But now, though I ran with all my might, I could not catch up with this ascetic who remains unperturbed and walks only at his normal pace with such grace and dignity.
Go ahead, Angulimala.
Angulimala yelled out to the Buddha loudly, "Stop, ascetic, stop, ascetic." The Buddha calmly responded to Angulimala, saying, "I have stopped, Angulimala."
Thank you, Jack. So this is his own thought, right? So it is simply amazing. In the past, I could outrun an elephant and seize it. I could chase a swift horse and capture it. I could overtake a chariot and arrest it. I could catch up with a swift deer and kill it. But now, though I run with all my might, I could not catch up with this ascetic, who remains unperturbed and walks only at his normal pace with such grace and dignity. Angulimala yelled out to the Buddha loudly, "Stop, ascetic! Stop, ascetic!" The Buddha calmly responded to Angulimala, saying, "I have stopped, Angulimala." What's next? What did Buddha say next?
It is you that.
That's a very famous stanza, right? You do stop, right? So, okay, let's continue reading. The Mikira, could you read for us, please? One, he heard these words.
When he heard these words, a dramatic transformance came over him. The supernatant current of his good karma ripened, allowing his nobler and virtuous inner goddess to break through the wall of hardened clay into which he had been entrapped. And reflecting upon the Buddha's statement, he thought to himself, "The ascetic Kami's by my blood-stained name. He asserts the truth, but though he is still walking, he says, I have stopped. Angulimala, you too stop." Angulimala was puzzled. Suppose I question the ascetic follower? Ascetic follower? Brother? He told himself, complaining thus, he questioned the Buddha. What do you mean, ascetic, by asking me to stop? Why are you walking ascetic? You have told me you have stopped. Again, when I have stopped, you say I have not stopped. I ask you now, oh ascetic, what is the meaning of your station? How is it aesthetic that you have stopped and I have not, when in fact I have already stopped running?
Thank you, Denise. So this is basically the highest point of the story, right? So he is trying to kill his mother. Buddha suddenly intervenes. Now he suddenly changed his target from his mother to Buddha, and he's very happy. Okay, I don't have to kill my mom anymore. I'm going to kill that bald-headed guy. Then chased him. He couldn't. Then he decided to asked him, hey, stop, why are you running away from me? And Buddha said, no, I'm not the one running, you are. Because I have stopped, now it's your turn to stop. So because he's educated and also his good karma ripened because of Buddha powers. So then he thought there must be a meaning to it. And he asked Buddha, right? Then Buddha answered, Angulimala, I have stopped forever. I abide steadfast evermore, for I am merciful to all living beings as I abstain from causing harm to them. But you, on the other hand, are merciless to living beings. You have no restraint towards things that live. That is why I say I have stopped and you have not. So that moment is one who changed Angulimala, because a light bulb went on in his head. Oh, he is right. I was the one running, trying to chase, right? So then let's start reading from here, the radiance of. Sarah, could you read this? The radiance of?
The radiance of the Buddha enabled him to see in a flash the misery and suffering in which his life had been enmeshed with as a result of his blind obedience to fulfill his Guru Dakshina. On reflecting deeply upon the Buddha's words, he found them in a great depth of meaning. Moved to the very core by the Buddha's radiant being and noble bearing, Angulimala desired to follow in his footsteps. No longer.
Thank you. So this is where Angulimala decided to let go of his Guru Dakshina. He decided to follow Buddha's footsteps, right? So then story goes on. So we're going to stop the story here today and we'll discuss a little bit more. All right, so what do you think about what changed here? And what I want you to discuss is I want you to think about applying the Angulimala story, right? I always tell you, when we learn Buddhism here, we want you to think about how do I apply that in my life? So now a lot of you already know very well about Angulimala's story, right? So we have talked about not only about Angulimala, but also about his mother, right? So now let's look at overall Angulimala's story from the Buddhist standpoint. What can we do for the community? Go ahead, Yadi.
We cannot kill our parents.
We cannot kill our parent. Okay, very good. What else? Go ahead, Andrew. That.
Decide wisely on what other people say.
Decide wisely on what other people say. Very good. Anyone else? What other lessons did you get from this? And what do you want to do? So a lot of people read Angulimala's story, not only Buddhist, okay? A lot of other religions read Angulimala's story too, and everybody take very differently, right? We look at a picture and I might see from this angle, someone else see from the different angle and come up with total different ideas. Now the same thing, you read this story, some of the portion you probably skipped it, right? Some of the portion you read it more than I do, and you liked it better than I do, right? Some of the portion I took it very seriously. Some of the portion you take it very seriously, right? So, for example, the mother and Angulimala and Buddha today, people look at it differently, right? Today I looked at it from a point of view, and I took you to where you can apply it, where you can actually run into similar situations, right? Probably you read it before and you never thought like that, right? You thought, hey, it's great, and you probably moved on. Okay. Now the same thing, the whole Angulimala story, right? What can we do? So there is Angulimala who's really, really bad, who killed a lot of people, right? Now, there are a lot of people out there in the community, right? Today, I just told you that if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, and if they're that bad, run away. But let's say if you want to help, okay, it's not your boyfriend or girlfriend, okay, it is, you're in the community, you're a community leader, right? Nothing personally attached to those people, right? For example, there are a lot of killers out there today, right? There are a lot of criminals out there today. What does our community do? What do we do with all these killers, criminals? Put them into where? Put them in the prison. Then what happens?
Then they rot in there.
They stay there, well, for kind of until their sentence is released.
Yes. Do you think they get better?
Maybe.
Not really. So a lot of people, who do they meet in prison?
Other criminals.
Other criminals. Now, other criminals, do you think other criminals will teach this criminal better things or worse things?
Worse.
Worse, right? Let's say if I live in California, most of you live in California. California has what we call 3-strike rule, right? Let's say if I steal a piece of bread from a store, the first time the police release me, they put my name, my numbers, my address in the record, right? Say, okay, don't do it next time. All right, I did it again. This time I stole $100 from someone. Same thing. $100, nothing. It's okay, but don't do it again next time. Third time, I drunk and drive. In California, you can't do that. Then police stop me, check my alcohol level is high, right? Just because I just had a party with my friends, it's our high school prom day, right? So police checked, your alcohol level is high. He was just going to give me a ticket. Then he looked at my record. Oh, you had committed 2 crimes before. This is the 3rd time. What happened? I go to prison. Now, did I do a really, really horrible crime? Not really. All I did was I stole a piece of bread because I was hungry and stupid. Okay. And I stole $100 because I wanted to play some game and I want to buy a Roblox game or something, right? I stole $100 from my parents. Then it was my prom day. I had a beautiful date and I drunk and I drove. I don't think I did horrible, right? No, wrong. In California, 3 strikes, you're in prison. Now, guess what? Do you think you learn good things in prison from other prisoners? No, you're going to learn horrible, horrible things. So guess what I will become? Once I get out of the prison, do you think I'll be a better person? Not really. Chances are very high that I will be a worse person. So that's the failure of our community. Now imagine if we have a serial killer, we send him in prison. Do you think he will change his mind? And he'll be a better person 99.99% of the time? No. Right? So, but another reason why is because a lot of people in this country, they're Christians, right? Now their religion say, if you're that bad, you have no other choice, you're going to go to hell, right? But if you know about the Angulimala story, even though Angulimala killed more than 1,000 humans, if you change your mind, you can always become a good person, and you can even be the top person and become liberated in Buddhism, right? So I want you to watch this little video clip and what Angulimala chaplaincy and meditation does in the prison.
Life without parole doesn't mean that you're to be punished or worked or any of that. It means you're to be warehoused till you die.
From 6 months all the way up to death row, we have them all here.
Donaldson's a pretty dangerous place. Somebody being stabbed or killed is a common occurrence.
The violence here, this is a breeding ground.
There we were in Alabama, very Christian part of the country, and we were teaching the teachings of the Buddha.
It's a very regimented day, stricter than your normal prison schedule.
What is that? I don't want to go through that.
I thought, well, we're, going to waste some time here.
I've been through every course imaginable. A meditation course? Come on.
No one is telling them what to look at or how to change. They're gaining their insights within themselves.
I knew that I had to let things go, and I just let the tears roll. It felt good to cry. It had been quite some time.
It hit places in me that I didn't even know was there anymore. And after 16 years of being locked up in here, I wasn't sure there were any places like that.
You're in the Bible Belt, and if you came in and tried to teach against Christianity, it would become a real problem here.
They should have meditated before they done whatever they did to get in there.
People became threatened. These guys are turning inmates into Buddhists, so therefore you need to shut this thing down.
I take responsibility for my action now. I did do that first.
Fake it till you make it. Is this something they can fake, help them make parole?
They're clearly grappling with feelings of revenge and hatred.
It helped me a lot. It humbled me a lot.
What's not to understand about compassion, love, and caring?
I got life without parole. I may not never get out of the penitentiary. And this is like a break from everything. This is like freedom.
I am proud of our group. I am so proud to call them my Dharma brothers.
I didn't believe it was gonna work, but it worked. It really did.
What did you notice from the little video clip? What do they do? Ricky?
They meditate.
They meditate. All right. Andrew?
I was gonna say the same thing.
All right. What kind of people are these guys? Andrew?
They're Christians.
Most of them were Christians before, right? And this is one of the worst prison in the whole United States, in Alabama. So that prison was so bad that there was a riot every day. You guys all know what a riot is? A riot, probably you have seen that in the movie. They kill each other in the prison, or they go against the prison guards and kill prison guards. And they burn the prison walls and fight and kill. So it is that kind of prison. So they couldn't handle that kind of prison. So what happened is they asked a Buddhist organization to come and open a 10 days retreat, right? Then at the end, they interview all these inmates who participated. As you heard, they felt really good. But what the inmate didn't know was the number of riots. What happened? They went down, they decreased, right? They don't fight anymore, they don't kill anymore, right? Now, a lot of people, when they got out of prison, they changed. They don't do those crimes anymore, right? So the chaplaincy service called Angulimala chaplaincy, actually it started in England. So same way in England that they couldn't handle those riots and killing in prison. Remember, as I told you, the prison is the place where all the bad guys are collected together. And the chances are that they tend to do more and more horrible things, right? Let's say they kill someone outside, they end up in prison. Guess what they do? They kill more inside the prison, right? They kill just because of luck. Okay, so for example, someone come up and look at me like this. So then he might say, dude, why you look at me like that? Just a look, right? Then what do? I shrug and walk away. Then next moment, I'm dead. Okay, that guy will put a knife in my neck. Now, they have that kind of mentality. It's very hard to handle those people, right? So prison is not the answer for those people, but meditation is, but not the regular meditation. So the Angulimala chaplaincy, so what they do is they explain about Angulimala's story, right? They told them that, yes, we accept that you have done horrible things in your past, but let's start fresh again today. In the law of karma, if you do enough good things, you can balance out whatever bad things that you did. So stop doing all these horrible things, because you guys have done that enough outside of the prison. That's why you're in prison, you're doing more. Then there is a snowball effect, right? Let's stop that. So the Angulimala story not only impressed readers, but also made a movement now today all over the world. So that Angulimala chaplaincy started in England. Now there are a few states in the United States that they do the same thing. Okay. Now in Burma, the same way, a lot of prisons have the meditation retreat. So how many of you think that you are interested in psychology, psychiatry, you want to be a social, you want to work in the social field, social services kind of thing? I see your hand. That's all. So if you ever become a doctor who specializes in craziness, mental, called psychiatrist, or not that levels, you are a psychologist, You don't prescribe medication, but you do talk to those people, right? You give mental treatment, mental therapy, okay, or you work for social services. So you will be dealing with these kind of underserved people who are in need. Then, if you know this Angulimala story and try to approach them and teach them meditation, right? I did that myself at my prior prison. Okay, I meditate with them, teach them meditation. So that's how Angulimala story is very beautiful, right? So if you ever want to be in that kind of psychiatry, psychology, social studies, sociology field, Angulimala story will be very beautiful. All right, I'm going to stop here tonight. Any questions?